All right, so we're going to be working with trauma and anxiety and PTSD. And tomorrow what we'll be doing a lot is we'll be doing a lot of hypnosis. But tonight, I want to talk about the brain a bit and then give you a couple of tools. All right, let's try this pressure point. There's a pressure point right here between your baby finger and whatever finger that is, the next one. I want you to tap right in there up towards the front, right where there's a groove. So tap right there. When you're tapping there, let's just say some positive things. I am free. Everybody say it out loud. I am free. I am happy. I am present. I know how to learn. I am open to learning. I'm content. And I'm alive. I'm just tapping a little more. Good. And then check in with your body. We'll be doing some different resets. And notice how that affected you. So some resets are subtle and some resets are not so subtle. Good. And we'll do a couple more things at the end that are tapping things. So a few things that we're working with trauma, like I've been working with abuse and trauma for about 35 years. Okay. So the impact of trauma, we're making up reality all the time. That's the first thing. You know, I forget the figures, but there's so much data going around. Let's just say it's like a million bits. It's probably even more than that. And your brain can only process like something like 5,000 bits. So what it does, it just makes up the rest. So at any given moment, you're making up reality anyway. And your brain's really good at filling in and making up what's happening. So as I'm working with trauma all these years, what I noticed is the people that had the intensity of abuse or trauma or life situations didn't have any kind of correlation with the effects. So I always thought that was interesting. So the degree of intensity had no correlation with the effects. And so what has correlation with the effects? Well, that's what we're going to be playing with a lot. You know, how you talk it to yourself has a lot of correlation with the effects. If you had any friends and support, so you weren't all alone in your reality, that has a lot of correlation with the effects. You know, like kids that had absolutely nobody to talk to, or grown-ups that have nobody to talk to, compared to if you had a lot of people to talk to and people that cared about you. So there's all these different kinds of correlations to the effects that we're going to be working with, you know, for the next 2 days. But it's not the intensity of the abuse or the trauma or whatever triggers the anxiety or the phobia. Okay? That's kind of mind-blowing when you start to go more and more deep into it, which, you know, we'll play with, because it means that there's a lot of room for changing. There's so much room for changing. So I'm just kind of scanning what I think is really important. One of the things that happens is when you decide what's a good survival skill unconsciously. You know, and if it's, you could have done that when you're young, you could do that when you're over in a war situation, or you're in an immigrant situation, or whatever situation you're in. You make up unconsciously, probably, you make up strategies that work. And the thing is, you don't update them. So that's what we're going to be playing with too in the weekend, is updating the strategies, because otherwise your brain just defaults to the old, and it just keeps defaulting to the old and defaulting to the old, and it doesn't default to anything new. And we actually want it to default to what we plug in. And that's what we'll be working with. We'll start having it default to what we plug in. And there's certain ways to do that, and doesn't have to default to the old habitual response over and over and over and over again. So we were talking about how cortisol works in the brain today. And, when there's a lot of trauma, cortisol actually blocks taking in data. And so you can't really have access to all the bits of what's going on, even all the bits of what's going on that you know how to process. You don't have access to it. So it blocks it. So another thing that Harry added was that it actually, neurons that fire together to wire together. So it actually, how did you say it? You said it a really good way. It actually picks things that it wires together with, and it doesn't. The other bits aren't included. They kind of fall away. And that's why you can remember some things and not remember other things. And I just had my 50th high school reunion. And one of the things I noticed is I didn't remember really significant things. Like I didn't remember who was living with me in my apartment. And that blew me out because I had no idea that they lived with me, and I had no idea that I forgot that they lived with me. And it was my apartment. I mean, I'm the one that had the lease and everything. So that was a very traumatic time for me. And the bits that want to wire together just keep on wiring together, and real other data and facts just drop right out. You can imagine the impact that has on learning. If you're not taking in data, how are you going to be able to learn? Now, some people can learn because they hyper-focus on learning, but then all the other data drops out. Because you can use hyper-focusing as a way to relax, just like you can use cutting as a way to relax, or addiction, and all those negative ways that actually relax us. But we can choose to relax in other ways, and we can choose to take in data in other ways. All right. Well, since we're so small, let's play with some stuff then. Let's play with I want you to imagine either a time when you felt really content or happy, or you let yourself be in like a magical, mysterious, wonderful place, just invented by you, like a perfect fantasy place. So you can either go to a time when you're really happy, or a perfect fantasy place where you feel safe enough and content enough, and the weather is perfect, the food's perfect, everything's comfortable, and you feel completely satisfied. So everybody take whatever time that you need to find that spot. And what I might do is I might do it with one person first, and then you all can try it. So who wants to come up and do it first in front of everybody? All right, Hebe.
I'm happy for you to go.
Okay, just bring your chair and sit here. All right, honey. So you got your spot? You got that feeling? Okay, now where is it in your body?
It's in here.
All right, right in your solar plexus. So right now I want you to imagine that it has a color. And what color is it?
It's grass green.
Grass green. Okay, grass green. And now, let's move it just out of your body, right to here, right in front of your body, about like, I don't know, a little bit out of your body. And let it have a frame around it. So let's have a frame around the grass green. You got a frame? Let your fingers make a frame around it.
It's a circle.
Okay, a circle. And in that circle there's a volume knob. And right now just make the volume go up so that contentment is just really high. You got it? Good, good. And now let yourself reach out and make that circle really big. It's really big. Now we're going to just put that circle, that big circle of contentment, that grass green, and let it go from the top of your head all through your body, all the way to your toes, like a hula hoop. And then like a hula hoop, I want you to make it have another pass from your toes to the top of your head. And then do that as many times as you want, and every time you do it, the volume increases. And the grass green gets brighter and brighter and brighter. The volume's increasing, the grass green's getting brighter and brighter, and every cell of your body gets to enjoy that feeling of support, contentment, happiness. You can do as many passes as you want, and the volume increases every single pass until every bit is saturated. Yeah, that's right, that's perfect. And that's good, good. And with every breath, yeah, the contentment has more room. And you don't even have to notice the breathing. The contentment has more room with every breath. And the green is everywhere. Yeah, that's good. Very good. And now, when I ask you to open your eyes, you can keep all the contentment that you want to keep. You don't have to let any of it go. Just hang out in it and keep it and be in it as long as you want.
It was, yeah, I could really hear it. I could really hear the waterfalls, and that was the sound. And as I grew in my circle, I would be in and out of the sound. It would get louder
as you did it more? As you zoomed in and zoomed out? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, good. Okay. So everybody ready to do it together? Okay. So you can go back to your spot if you want. Or you can stay here.
Greene, it was really getting green.
Was it really getting green?
Coming to see Greene, talking about Greene, like, yes.
Okay. So now I won't be able to track you all so good. So let yourself go to that place where you feel really content, satisfied, happy. Whether it's inside or outside, whether there's music or waterfalls. Just that place, and you know that place. Know that place where you're safe, secure, content. Yeah, just let yourself be right in it, and just notice where it is in your body. And now let that place in your body just get stronger or lighter or brighter, yeah. Yeah, that's good. And now let it have I like passing it through, but we could try it a different way now. Let that just have a volume. I want you to turn the volume knob. You have your own control room. And in that control room, you just turn that volume knob up or down. And right now, turn that volume up. And let that contentment spread now. Let it have a color. And let that spread. Spread from the spot in your body, bigger, louder, brighter. Let it go everywhere. And now your conscious mind doesn't even have to track all this. The unconscious can just let the contentment go everywhere. As big now as it wants, it can just even burst right out of your body if it wants and fill the whole room. And I'm just going to be quiet for a while and just let your unconscious make that stronger and more fun. Right now, stronger, fun, bigger, brighter. And with every breath, it gets more and more strong, powerful, saturated. And without coming all the way back, whenever you're ready, you can just let your eyes open.